Hypixel Skyblock has been out for about a year, and there's already been over 5 million unique logins. With such a big game mode, there will obviously be some glitches, and honestly, in my opinion, it's kind of interesting on how they are all discovered. What's even more crazy though is that there are like these dedicated groups for the sole purpose of finding these exploits. Today we will be digging deeper into Skyblock and finding out some of the major duping situations. I guess we should begin as early as we can, so let's start from August of 2019. This was actually only a few months after Skyblock was like publicly released, and I picked this time period because it was like one of the first somewhat economy changing dupes. So now I'm actually in game because it's better for you guys to see what I'm going to be talking about instead of me just, putting some explaining on it, because, like for me, I learn better visually, so most of you probably do too. Anyways, what I'm going to show you right now is the whole fishing system on Hypixel Skyblock. So pretty much there are different types of baits, and for an example, I have a whale bait right here. And what this does is it gives me a 20% faster catch time, and then I have myself a fishing rod. So as you can see, when I cast my fishing rod, it actually does consume the bait. You can see it fall down right there. And then in my hotbar, it goes down one bait. And then of course I can catch something. So once again, if I cast my rod, I will go down one bait right there. And as you can see, if I were to, spam the fishing rod, I would be just wasting all of the bait. But the reason sometimes I don't actually consume the bait is because of this enchantment named Caster. And what Caster does is that it gives you a small chance to not consume bait when fishing. Now, how did this dupe actually work? Well, I showed you the whole fishing system, and the reason for this is because it does, it has a huge part of the whole dupe. So firstly, what you would do is build like a simple 2x2 or maybe even like a 3x3 area of hoppers, and then you would just place a few blocks and make it a little bit taller so that water could fit right on top of it. Now, as you saw earlier, you would cast your rod and then the bait would drop out. But back in the day, when you would cast your rod in water, the bait would flow into the hoppers. And the reason this is a dupe is because if that caster enchantment actually did work, then there was a chance for you to use the bait but not actually consume it, but that not consumed bait would still be dropping into the hopper, which means you would just double the bait. And obviously, if you just spam the fishing rod, it would be duplicating it a ton, and that means you could sell it to the NPC for a lot of coins. So let's fast forward to January of 2020. Pretty much now, this next dupe was kind of like a game changing. It could have completely destroyed the whole Skyblock economy because you could duplicate any item at any time you wanted to. But pretty much what this dupe consisted of was just using a minecart with a chest and then some cactus. Okay, so now let's actually build it. So what people would do is they would make a little bit of a staircase with some stone bricks so that obviously there's like a ramp with the rail system. So if we just make that, and there we go, that's pretty much it. But now, what this is like the big thing about the whole dupe is you have to have your view distance on the tiniest one, so render distance version 2, also known as tiny. But as you see, we can't see too much, and if we were to back up a little bit, you can see that that chunk right there will become unloaded just like that, and then this one will load in, and vice versa. If we go this way, this chunk will become unloaded, and then we will be able to see this one again. I'm telling you this because basically what this does is you'll have your minecart with a chest up here, and then you will push it down the rail system all the way into another chunk, but it has to be unloaded. So obviously, if you have the tiniest render distance, then you can not see the next chunk. So if we go like, 30 to 60 blocks all the way down here, and that should be fine. But if we go back over here where the minecart is, you can see that the rail goes all the way into that chunk, but we can't see it until we load it in like that. And this is where the sand and the cactus come into hand. So we place down some sand and then, build up a few blocks of cactus. But if we go back over here, once again, you can see that we can't actually see the cactus. And now this is where things will get quite cool. Well, not really cool because it does duplicate items. But obviously, just by the way, for everyone wondering, any dupes I'm showing in this video today, they are all patched completely, so don't even go ahead and try it. I'm not like advertising to do glitches, I'm just showing you what they were and how they actually worked. But for an example, let's go ahead and throw in a diamond sword because that's a pretty valuable item. Now, what we would do is we would just push the minecart down and then let it load into another chunk, and as soon as it goes into that unloaded chunk, we would then log out of the game. So now that we're logged back in, we can change our render distance back to normal, which I usually go with like 12, and then we'll head over to the cactus. As you can see, there was still a minecart with a chest, but then there's another minecart with a chest and another diamond sword that was on the ground, and that's because it duplicated. So as you see, we have one diamond sword and then another diamond sword because the minecart with the chest broke, but it also stayed there. It's kind of weird, but you can see that we just duplicated the items, and now we have two diamond swords. As you can tell though, this is kind of crazy because you could put some pretty expensive items in the chest, and then you could just duplicate them and sell them for a billions and millions of coins. So yeah, it's kind of bad, but luckily the Hypixel admin team is so good. Like, a huge shout out to them, dude. They fix these glitches and bugs almost instantly. But now I think it's time to talk about one of the most controversial duplication glitches. I'm pretty sure when anyone thinks of a Skyblock dupe, the first name that pops into a player's head is Hypixel. If you didn't know, for a pretty long time there was a big meme about Pig, and they all would call him Dupical. So back in February of 2020, about a month after the minecart dupe was patched, an update to fix the slime hack glitch was rolled out. But what the admins didn't know was that this update brought a huge duplication glitch to the game, and when the update did come out, for some reason, you could put a backpack on your head. And that kind of brings us right back to Hypixel. Basically, as a joke, Pig went to a hub lobby and then told players to click on their backpacks to basically attempt to troll players by scaring them to think their backpack disappeared. But accidentally, this was a duplication glitch, and because when you clicked on your backpack, it would go onto your head, but it would also still open up the backpack GUI. And then you could take items out of the backpack, but after you close the backpack, any items you took out would just stay in there, which means you could infinitely duplicate items that were sitting in the backpacks. So accidentally, Pig did advertise a glitch, and he actually did get banned from Skyblock for a week, and also got his YouTube rank removed for 1 month. He actually did make a video on this about like 6 or 7 months ago, explaining the whole situation, so that'll be linked down below in the description. So around September of 2020, there was a major coin duplication glitch. Recently, the Skyblock admins have added a personal vault system, and what would happen was when you would transfer coins from your personal vault, it would actually leave the coins in there, but then it would still transfer them to your bank. And obviously this means you could keep transferring coins from your personal vault into your bank, and you could just keep transferring the money and duplicating coins. Not many players actually knew about this glitch, but the people who did duped billions of coins into the economy. Luckily though, the admins found out what coins were duped and they got completely deleted. If you have ever been playing Skyblock and randomly the bank gets disabled, it was probably because of a coin dupe just like this. I know that there are a lot of more glitches that have happened on Skyblock, and if you maybe want to see a part 2 about some of the secret hidden glitches that have happened, then be sure to drop a like and let me know. Anyways, if you did enjoy the video, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. There will also be a couple more videos on the screen, so if you would like to check them out, then go ahead.